Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sport for today's World Rankings Permutations video preview, as we also like to call it. Basically, another two games, another four teams, well, actually five teams that could move around this weekend. And it'll be interesting to see exactly what the movements will be as we look forward to the second round of the 2023 Rugby Championship. We've got the All Blacks taking on the Springboks tomorrow morning, first thing, and then after that, we'll then have Argentina versus Australia, which is in Australia. So now those are important parts because obviously home advantage does play a role when it comes to how these rankings are decided. And there can be some climbs, and there also can't be some falls. Depending on which team you're rooting for and which team gets the results this weekend. Before we sort of go through some of the permutations and exactly what can happen and what we need to do to have those things happen, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Right, so first things first, start with New Zealand. They are currently in third place. They can go second. They can overtake France, but they will have to beat the Springboks by more than 15 points. That is it. So a win by more than 15 points would see New Zealand swap with France and then move up into second place behind Ireland. They'd also cut Ireland's lead in the top of the table to 1.19 ranking points. In terms of the Springboks, they cannot fall from fourth in defeat, as they'll still have 5.26 points between themselves and Scotland, even if they were to lose against New Zealand tomorrow. So good news is that we can't fall away fourth. However, we can move to third if we avoid defeat, which means that if we win or we draw tomorrow against New Zealand, then it means that we will swap places. We will move into third place in the world. They'll move down to fourth, and hopefully should be able to sort of stay there really until we meet again in August. And so that's sort of the permutations when it comes to South Africa and New Zealand. South Africa cannot move up to second. Second is out of place. However, a win against New Zealand would very much move us towards being able to move up to second or first, especially considering we play New Zealand once again in August. But unfortunately, we're not playing an Ireland or France, for example, and you've got to play sort of teams higher ranked than you really to try and get your sort of ranking up, or at least teams that are quite close to below you. So in terms of Argentina and Australia, they can also swap places. If Pumas were to win this weekend, if Argentina were to beat England, then they would swap places. If Argentina were to win by more than 15 points, they could move above England into sixth position, which would be their highest position since November last year. Australia can climb up to sixth place, also swapping places with England with any margin of victory over Argentina. So a win for Australia would move them up into sixth place. Interestingly enough, England have not been as low as seventh since February 2016, and that is pretty much almost guaranteed. Unless, so I suppose if the Pumas were, if Argentina were to win, but like less than 15, then it looks like England will keep that number 6 spot. But if Australia were to win, or the Argentina were to win by more than 15 points, they could move above England. Argentina, however, cannot fall any lower than their present position of 8th, with Australia 7th, because they have a large enough advantage over Wales, who are the current 9th placed team. So those are sort of the ranking sort of preview. There's not too much that can really happen. I think the big one, I suppose, would be if Argentina were to win by 15 points, move up into 6th, and if New Zealand win by more than 15 points, they can move into 2nd. Those would probably sort of be the dramatic changes. A swap of between 3rd and 4th for New Zealand and South Africa, I think, could be sort of interchanging quite a lot in the build-up to the World Cup, especially as we do face New Zealand once again in about a month's time. They'll be over in Twickenham, and therefore sort of the home advantage would fall away. But yeah, so in terms of the match officials for this weekend, Mathieu Reynal from France will take charge of New Zealand versus South Africa. It is his 40th test as a referee. Funny enough, both teams actually lost the first time they played their first matches with Mathieu Reynal in the middle. And Jaco Paper from South Africa will take charge of Australia versus Argentina for the 4th time. Wallabies have won 3 matches when he has had the whistle between the two, whilst Argentina have won 1. Funny enough, the Paper's 61st test will make him take him to the 7th of all time list for most cap referees. So big congratulations to Paper as he sort of moves up. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments below. How important are these rankings? Would you like to, how cool would it be to see South Africa moving into 3rd? It would be cool, but how important is it, for example? Doesn't really make much difference in terms of obviously World Cup scenes, which has already been done. But I suppose in terms of momentum going into the World Cup, I suppose you do want to sort of be as high as possible, I suppose, although that does bring its own sort of pressures. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. Smash like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.